Hi, it's Victor here from Churn Foreign Trading for Beginners. And in today's episode, I want to talk about the benefit of setting annual goals to help improve your trading skills. Coming up next. Hi, welcome back. Continuing on from last week about doing review of my trades, annual reviews of trades, and try to learn from them. I think the next step after I have done that every year, which I'm in the process of still doing, is setting goals. Now, when I first started doing reviews, I just sort of do it inconsistently and literally just do it here and there every so often. But once I start to do it on an annual basis, I basically also set up goals and to improve myself. So at the start, very much of goals is very much just writing things down, because I have a very bad habit of not very good at writing things down. I'm good at writing the details, but just not consistent, and just like very sporadically I write things down, not the full details I want sometimes, and especially I don't write down the in between when I have taken on a trade. I don't write down why I take a trade and how I feel during the trade is open, and any other things that might affect my mental state at the time. And that sort of over time I set up some goals. Basically, the first goals I had was just writing things down, like I said, and also write down those issues that might have arisen between the trade or during the trade, that kind of stuff. And this really helps me tremendously. Basically, what really happens is if I don't set goals, I just don't have any view of what I should do next. I just writing things down, and like I could never measure what I have done and what type of things I would like to achieve, that kind of stuff. So writing goals in general has helped me a lot, and all the goals I have done so far really is coming from my the review of my trade, to actually see what type of things that I do best, and also the type of things I do badly. So things that I do badly, of course, I try to nullify the effect by putting some steps in and try to make myself doing those steps, and that become my goals. And over time, my goals have changes as I improve my trading. But also, I also set goals for things I've done well. Then basically, the goals is to essentially just continue writing those things, doing those steps, doing those trades that are being proven to be good for me over time, and that is really useful for me. But over time now, I also find that doing goals, annual goals once a year, you write them down. A lot of time you forget it like a few months down the line, and because you don't. I mean, I'm not sure about yourself, you have set any goals at all, but once you set some goals, do you actually go back and review it in a consistent basis? So what I've found so far also useful is when I set goals, is basically I go through and look at it every month. I mean, sometime maybe every 6 weeks or something, but I do go back and look at a consistent basis and say, look, have I done, let's say in January, my goal is to, write things down. February is to review those goals and try to reduce those big losses. Thirdly is to write down my mental state at the time. Those kind of things, those are examples of what I've done in the past. And then go back and look at it every month to say, have I done this? If not, continue that with, the next month. And what I have found out is that sometimes I don't stick with it. And that's another issue, is about the momentum. And I set that as one of my goals as well. So basically, I just go through the process and look at my goals annually, but also reduce that into more bite-sized chunks for each month. I have one specific goal that actually helps and could drive towards the overall yearly goals, that kind of thing. What I found from my own past experiences, if I don't keep watch of my goals, and I slowly just drift and forgetting about the whole process. Remember, we go into trading essentially to make money. But after a while, you found that it's more like a skill set that you can improve upon. And then when you even go further down the line, it's more like a puzzle. You want to basically beat beat the market, so to speak. But meaning it's not. When you think about it deeper, when you do an annual review, it's more about beating yourself. We all have good habits and bad habits, and we want to change them. And trading very much a reflection of ourselves. And that's I definitely believe that. And actually having goals, trading goals and things, it's actually helped me to improve myself. Like for example, being patient, uh, writing things down, slowing things down. And stick with the process, and not just listen to other people's news or gossips or tips, those kind of things. Those are part of my goals that I've done, and it basically helped to concentrate my mind. I think what Arnold Schwarzenegger says that once very nicely, nicely put it. He said that I think I found on YouTube as well. Basically, he said you might have the best ship in the world, but if you don't have a destination, which is your goals, you basically drift and going around in a circle. You never end up in anywhere. You basically just stay in ocean or stay in a port, and you never go from place to place. Remember, ship is basically a transportation method, and you want to go from A to B. But if you don't have the destination, you just stay where you are or going around in circles. You never go anywhere, even with the most powerful ship in the world, the best ship in the world, luxurious ship in the world. You not go anywhere. So same thing about goals as well. I mean, we all want to improve ourselves one way or another, either in our health, our skills, our education, our relationship, whatever you set your minds on. But you have to have goals, and this is basically for trading. You must, in my view, is beneficial to have goals. I wouldn't say must, which is up to each individual one, but I found it really useful and benefits to me because those goals are basically tackling the bad habits I have, like not being patient, like for example, even the simplest thing, I'm not taking enough sleep. For us, if you don't have, for me anyway, if you don't have the health with the right level of rest, I feel more irritated the next day, and I won't be able to take my trade that easily. The other goals I have is coming up from the annual review is certain setups that sort of give me low probability of trading. Okay, I'm doing trend following, so it doesn't really matter. I take every trade, but what happens I found is when a trade have gone through a trend for a number of weeks or months, then there's inevitably the when the trend bends, it's trying to find its next direction. It goes ups and downs a bit, and then that happens like 3 or 4 times. I basically learn to when the turn is happening, I reduce my trading size. So at that time, I don't really pivoting as much or as heavily. I still follow my rules, but instead of, let's say, doing a risk 1% per trade on those turning points, I do like 0.5%, and I do watch out more closely just to make sure that when the signal turn quickly, I follow it through. Because what I found so far is when let's say a trend going upwards, when it try to bend, when it try to turn either sideways or down again, the market take like 3 or 4 turns, like try to find its place, basically go up a bit and then come back down again, up and down again. It's much of a whipsaw, so to speak, until it finds its own direction. Then it goes somewhere, and these are the time that I found that I lost making small losses. Those are small losses that I can reduce by reducing the trading size on those areas. So those are the type of things I found, learned from my annual review, and I put it as part of my goals as well. The other thing I also found is quite interesting. One of my habits is when I do my trading analysis in the evening, I basically, when I say I want to open a trade next day, for example, open a trade next day on Apple or something, I basically just, when the market is open, I just go trade. Or most likely, it's like in UK, I just basically trade when the market is open before I go to work. So when market open here in UK is 8 o'clock. So for example, instead of using Apple, use HSBC. the market's open at 8 o'clock, I would then place a trade on HSBC, whatever my signal says, and I go to work. Now, the bad thing for me is because of this habit, I have to go to work straight afterwards. I basically go in the market when basically the market open. During the market open, I found it the price seems to fluctuates quite a bit. So I either open really high or close open very low, and I basically took the worst time to go in the market. Either when I want to buy, I buy the highest point of the day, or when I want to sell the lowest point of that particular day. So one thing I've learned is from my experience is basically write down the time. So I put that as one of my goals. So when I write things down, I also write down when I open the trade, at what time do I actually open that trade. Okay, I cannot really rely on my trading platform because sometimes it doesn't keep the time right as far as I'm concerned. So I think it's more like they must be running Linux or some Unix system in the background. So as far as I'm concerned, it's always 1 hour behind. When I open the trade just after 8 o'clock UK time, when I go back in the evening, I find it's say 7 o'clock something in the morning, and it's like with some settings, some setup that depends on the trading platform they actually set up. So I wrote down my own time, and I found that because of my action, I do trade first thing in the morning when the market is open before I go to work. I inevitably end up with a worse opening price of my trade. And so what I've done basically from that is analysis of my annual review. I basically put out as a goal to separate out the timing, and therefore from the analysis, then I say, okay, then my next goal is only go in the market maybe in the afternoon or something. That sort of thing. That's what I've done. So instead of first thing in the morning, I go to, got my set of trade from the evening before, place my trades before the market, when the market's open, before I go to work, and get a worse feel on my trades. I basically now go into middle of the day. I would basically about lunchtime, I say 1 o'clock. And I always just basically put in basically on my phone, basically just type in my trade that I need, and then just and enter, so to speak. And I found that seems to improve my trading a little bit, not much, but a bit better, at least avoiding all this big large opening prices at the start of the trading hour, so to speak. So that's one thing I've put as part of my goal. The other thing as part of this for my review is I don't think I've read enough in those days, and if still I don't read enough. So as part of my yearly annual goals, I really try to force myself to read minimum 1 or 2 books per month if I can, that kind of thing. Now when I try to do that at the start, I just go to basically just do like 1 book a month, but even having, because of my own family and my own workload, I have more time to basically just do maybe read 1 book a month, but I found it so much time consuming, so I just changed. So what I've done then is rather than reading, I use Audible. I basically just open an Audible account and download my phone, and it's easier for me, so I can when I'm driving to work, I basically just listen to my my audiobooks, and my audiobooks mainly is on trading, trend following mainly, but also other trend following traders, and also about mindset development, and never give up, those kind of stuff. How you take yourself up when you fell down, that kind of stuff. The resilience books, how mental toughness, those kind of books. And basically what I could call this is my mind feed, because during when I go to work, I don't know about most of you out there. I travel between an hour and a half to go to work each way, so I spend like 2 to 3 hours on the road every day, and rather than just listen to general music, which is definitely relaxing, but I thought it's more useful to basically just maybe play an hour of use an hour of those time to listen to some audiobooks that is about trading mindset, and so forth, and about resilience, that kind of thing, more like personal development, that kind of stuff, or any subjects that I would like to, but mostly involve around trading. And I found that's very useful for me. And now, so my goals like from one book, I changed it to like two books now. And I listen to audible. I just basically listen to, and I mean the best I've done is like four books in a month. Basically, I just listen. But a lot of time, what I also found out as part of the goal is rather than getting new books, it's a lot about process, which I talk about much in my podcast. Is going back to those audio books that I have been used before and basically listen to it again and again. Because a lot of times what I found is you listen the first time, it sort of makes sense, you make some notes, and you make some mental notes, for example, and you try to put that into practice. But I found more useful when you actually repeat the process and listen to your audiobooks a few times, and that sort of slowly jumped into your mind, and suddenly something just clicked. Oh, and a light bulb moment is, oh, I missed something, and then you write things down, make a mental note, and then put that into your trading and help you prepare your mind, so to speak. So I find that it's very helpful, and that's part of my goals now. So I do that basically, like I said before, I've got Audible. I subscribe to Audible online, and basically I download the books onto my phone, and I basically, when I do my chores or when I'm driving, when I go running, I just basically listen to those goals as well. Also in the evening before I go to sleep as well, sometimes I do that. But that just become part of my habit, so I can feed my mind with more trading related books or personal development books. So I found it really, really helpful as well. The other goals I found is, instead of writing things down, all this stuff, which is great, but we forgot trading is very much of a lonely business. You trade against the market against you, so to speak, and a lot of time you on your own, and it's useful. I found I have goals now to meet up with other traders, either online or basically go into some meetings and just go to a pub or drink with other traders, or not just our friends and family, but other people away from my normal circle of friends, so to speak, and basically talk about each other, about trading, what they've done. Mostly they're day traders, that kind of stuff, but I talk about them about trend following. But a lot of times we have similar problems, facing similar issues, and we learn from each other how we overcome those, and also is keeping yourself alive, so to speak. There's other people out there also doing trading, rather just using YouTube. You on your own in the room, or with your normal friends and family. You expand your circles of traders and friends as well. So that's the yearly things I like. So I put my basic yearly goal at the moment, still trying to achieve that, is basically going to one different place every year, and so to speak. So instead of just staying UK, I would like to go to maybe America. I'll go to Asia to listen to other speakers as well. So I think that's definitely something useful to have. And those are basically my sort of the goals, yearly goals I set every year. And of course, over time, this evolve. Sometimes get better, and other times it. Basically, it depends on how I trade, and evolve over times. And as I get more mature, my goals changes. So basically, this is just my 2 cents worth about setting yearly annual goals, and I hope you find this episode useful. And please tell your friends about my podcast, and so more people out there, new traders out there or existing traders out there, can learn from my views, and also my trading styles, and also my losses. Also, you can learn from my mistakes, and hopefully whatever I've said before will help you to improve your trading performance. So I'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye for now.